Hi there, it's Vero or at Vero Bujo from the Archer and Olive Ambassador team coming to you with a video on spring cleaning. Today we'll be setting up a spring cleaning tracker in your bullet journal, and you'll also be able to find a more in-depth related blog post about this topic on the Archer and Olive blog, so be sure to check that one out. Personally, I'm of the opinion that no bullet journal spread can go without a header, so I'm just going to be starting off by writing out my header for this tracker. I'm using the same style leaves and font from my 2023 bullet journal setup that you can find linked in the card and the description down below. To start this tracker off, I will be dividing each page into 2 columns, so that I have 4 columns overall. I'll be using 3 of the columns for my cleaning categories, and the 4th column is for a cleaning scheduler that is reusable, I might add. The bulk of the work for this tracker should be done on a separate piece of paper, and the idea is to write down all of the categories or rooms that you need to clean, and then all of the subcategories or areas that you want to clean in each of those rooms. For me personally, I have the rooms kitchen, bathroom, bedrooms, office, living room, dining room, and other. But you may have other rooms, and you can check my blog post for inspiration on what to clean in each of those rooms. Alternatively, if you don't really want to write any of this information down, you can print out the free printable that is attached to the blog post. It has basic categories for you to clean in each of the big rooms of a standard house. Anyway, once you have written down all of the categories on the side and figured out certain things that you need to clean in each of those big categories, I'm going to start writing them out onto my journal. I'm going to start off by writing a clear header for each of the categories, although I'm going to go room by room because I'm not entirely sure how much space I'm going to need for each of my rooms. So I leave a square column on the left of my subcategories because I'm going to be putting a small circle next to each of the subcategories that I can tick off once I have cleaned the area. Remember to leave that small space. Then once I've written all of the subcategories that I have thought of, I'm going to leave 3 spaces underneath, or 3 lines underneath the last subcategory, so that I can write any additional things that I may not have thought of whilst I was doing the first task, which will definitely happen. Don't fool yourself, you will forget because we are all humans. For the column that we have on the left of each of our subcategories, I'm going to use a stencil to draw out a small circle next to each of them. I am using a random stencil from my own personal collection, but Archer and Olive do have a couple of stencils that come out once in a while, so be sure to check out the website for anything that they might come up with. In terms of the stationery that I am using, my journal is an A5 dot grid white journal from the Archer and Olive collection. The blue brush pen is a Pentel brush sign pen that I'm using for all of the headers. I'm using watercolors for the main header and white gouache for the writing on the main header, and then I'm using a Muji gel pen to write out all of my subcategories. If you are interested in buying specific products though, I do recommend the Archer and Olive products. For example, instead of the blue Pentel brush sign pen, you could use an Archer and Olive calligraph. They come with 2 different sizes, which is amazing, and they have a much larger color range, which is also a benefit. In terms of the pen for writing out my subcategories, you could easily use the gel pens from Archer and Olive, and they are beautiful and stunning, and I absolutely love them. So if you are interested in any of these products, don't forget to use code VERO10 for 10% off, or you can click on my affiliate links that I've listed in the blog post. Just a couple of ideas for subcategories in each of your rooms. Don't forget the light fixtures to clean underneath your fridge for the kitchen. To move things around, definitely don't forget underneath your bed. Don't forget to move all of your books off shelves, rearrange your wardrobe. Again, you can check out the blog post for more information. I leave extra space in my other category because that's where I'd fit all of my miscellaneous rooms, such as entryway, laundry room, powder room, gardens, etc. The reason I haven't personally chosen to put these as specific rooms is because I feel like a lot of these rooms require the same cleaning steps, so I'm just going to put them under other, and then I'll just remember to vacuum each of those rooms, dust the light fixtures, etc, because, you know, they're relatively the same. Or, you know, not all of them, but there's an idea there. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, my last column is going to be for a weekly scheduler. Because I want to clean the entire space in no more than 1 week, the idea is to attribute each day of the week to one room and clean the entire room and only that room in 1 day. The reason I don't want to do more is because the goal is not to overwhelm ourselves with house chores. But if you have more spaces than days, maybe put the 2 smaller spaces to be done in 1 day, leaving your biggest spaces for 1 entire day. Now, I do understand that not everybody has an entire week to dedicate to house cleaning, so enlist your family members because because this is not a one-man job. For the scheduler, it is pretty simple. I divide the column into 7 days and draw a table. I kind of center my table as much as I can. It doesn't need to be very big because you're just essentially going to be writing in a lead pencil what different categories you're going to clean in each day. Once you have done everything, this is what your tracker will look like. I did mention that this was a reusable spread, and that's because I invite you to use a pencil to tick everything off and then erase the markings when you're all done. That way you can easily reuse this tracker next spring or even next month if you decide to give everything a clean every single month. And if you do that, wow. Impressive. Now, if you're like me and you don't like cleaning so much all in one go, then you might be interested in my monthly cleaning tracker. I have a video on my channel dedicated to this particular tracker where I tell you the things that you need to clean daily, bi-weekly, weekly, bi-monthly, monthly, etc. And if you want, you can watch that video next.